Hey, yo, what the hell is going on, bro? What the hell is going on with boxing? And listen, we already knew this was going to happen, right? Because I had made predictions like 2 years ago, and I remixed it a little bit a couple of days ago, and I called it the mythologizing of boxing. But now it's here. Right now, it's officially here. Before we get to that, though, I heard that fight between Jake Paul and Tank Davis is not a done deal yet. It hasn't been, finalized. Um, so we're just gonna have to see what's up with that. Maybe it doesn't happen. Who knows? Because a lot of people, including myself, want Tank to fight a real fight because he really never has. To be honest with you. Um, the fight against Ryan, he was dehydrated. Um, and a lot of his other fights as well were kind of, they all have asterisks. He still hasn't had his breakthrough fight, in my opinion, his Oscar De La Hoya fight. Um, and that's why a lot of people have a problem with Tank Davis going out of his way to fight Jake Paul, because it just doesn't make any sense. But having said that, the amount of money that he's gonna get paid, it's crazy. It's almost unbelievable, to be honest with you. So yeah, anybody would do it, true, but it's not all about the money. It is about legacy sometimes, and there's ways to do both. Don't fall into the mind trick that you have to choose between two things. That's one of the greatest tricks most salesmen make you believe, that you can only choose one or the other. You know, a lot of times it's just an illusion when they tell you that. A lot of times you could do both. And a lot of good examples, like for example, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has good legacy, and he has a good career making money. He got both. Um, Marvin Hagler was the same thing. He made a career after boxing. Making movies. So and the list goes on and on. You could, George Foreman. He's from Texas, and everybody knows him, and what he did for the sport, and what he did for himself. Selling grills, and making his own gym here in Texas. And so yeah, you could be successful and you could have legacy. You have to choose from both of them. That's an illusion that a salesman tries to pitch to you, to make you choose from one or the other. But if you look through history, this is why I'm a big student of history, because it shows you what could happen, what can happen, and it shows you what will happen, because we live in a world made of patterns, and the trick is to make people believe that it is impossible. That's what a lot of people, or a lot of the people that are in charge, want you to believe, that this is impossible or that is impossible. Just let me do it for you. And that's why we are in a generation of people that wants things to be done for them, instead of them getting up and doing it. And this is what Tank is doing at the time. He just wants people to think that he's good, to just give him the benefit of the doubt. But really, he hasn't really done. He hasn't really done that much. But now it's on us, and it's our responsibility to believe that he's great or whatever, which is fucking hilarious to me. But anyways, and this is part of the mythologization or the mythologizing of boxing. You know, this is what I mean when I talk about the steps being taken for boxing no longer to be a sport or even a martial arts that is, practiced for real, and for it to start becoming the WWE, for it to start becoming a show. Like I said before, and I'll say it again because it's happening. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but 2 years ago I was making the same claim. Probably 3 years ago, to be honest with you, if we're gonna count days and shit. I was saying the same shit, and I told you guys that's the future of boxing. I know it sounds horrible, which in a way it is. That's just the cycles of each martial arts. It goes through cycles, and the final step is it turns into myth. It turns into stuff of legends, and you start hearing things like, this guy used to do that, the other guy used to do the other thing, and it's like, yeah. And then it becomes stuff of legend, and then after that we start pretending to do it, and it becomes nothing more than like a dance or something like that. But this is that step, Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather exhibition fight. These ain't real fights, including the one with Jake Paul and Tank Davis. That's not a real fight, guys. Even trying to sanction a fight like that with the weight discrepancies and the age discrepancies, talking about Mike Tyson versus Floyd. The only way you could sanction a fight like this is if, number one, the rules aren't in place anymore, or it's an exhibition. If it's an exhibition, you're not allowed to hurt each other. You place rules that are, more indicative of an exhibition than an actual competition. Then what you get is nobody really gets hurt. What you get is the WWE. That's what you get, a fixed fight, a fight where there is no actual winner. Right now, that's the first step. After that, they're going to start setting up these fights, and they're going to start fixing these fights. Okay, it happened in wrestling. Why wouldn't it happen in boxing? I mean, it's going to happen, guys. In fact, it's probably already happening. It's probably already happening, as we speak. I mean, this is like a kind of like a warning shot, or like a kind of like testing the waters. Kind of like, what do you guys think? And it's not like they haven't fixed fights already in boxing. It's not like this is something new. There's been fixed fights before. But the thing is, they're going to start getting better at it, and people are going to stop caring so much about it. And the same way that they don't care about it in the WWE. It just turns into entertainment and not an actual competition anymore. This is what happens, basically. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to see. Floyd Mayweather, he's about my height, so about 5'9", 5'8". And Mike Tyson, he's about from what I heard last time, he's 5'11". So he's not that much taller. I mean, he's not that much taller than Mayweather. Mayweather has a bigger reach advantage, believe it or not, and he's younger. I haven't seen him fight any time lately, but I'm pretty sure he still got the stuff. We're gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see, because if this was a real fight, I would be worried about Mayweather's flinching reactions to attacks, because flinching reactions to attacks, if those aren't beneficial to you against a guy like Mike Tyson, that could be detrimental to your health. I just put it that way. But at the same time, why even give an analysis to a fight? Why even give an analysis to a fight like this? It's not a real fight. But you guys let me know what you guys think. Would you be okay with, for example, Terence Crawford versus Canelo being fixed, and the outcome of that fight already being set in stone as already known who the winner is? So you guys let me know what you guys think. Anyways, this is gonna be it for today.